The following is a Candlepin Stars and Strikes rebroadcast featuring some of our most memorable programs.
WNDS Sports and Tri-State Megabucks present Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
Oh, look at this. Look at this! He got it! Ready for a spin!
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is sponsored in part by Washington Toyota Dodge Nissan. Looks good.
Looks good! That's good to go! It's a goal!
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is produced in conjunction with the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association. And now your hosts, Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to a brand new season here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. I'm Doug Brown, along with Dan Murphy. We, of course, are coming to you from Park Place Lanes in Windham, New Hampshire. And believe it or not, the beginning, Dan, of our 10th season on the air here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
Hard to believe, isn't it? Seems like only yesterday we started, but I'm looking forward to it. And we got some bowlers here that all been with us before, all veterans, so the lights and cameras shouldn't bother them, so we should have 400 every match.
And they shouldn't bother us either. 10 years and we don't look a day older, I guess.
Not.
All right, well, in any event, we're glad you're back with us here as we start the brand new season here on the Winds. And, of course, as always, we begin the new season and the start of our quest toward the end of the season Tournament of Champions, where 6 bowlers will get a chance to compete for $1,500 first prize money. But, of course, there's a lot of money to be won on the way. And for those of you who are newcomers to the show, we'll be taking you through the format and the way we do things here. We know we have a lot of new viewers this fall because of some new cable systems that are on the air with us. So we are glad that you have joined us on this Sunday here on Stars and Strikes and hope that you'll make us a regular part of your Sunday at noon. Let's introduce you to our first 2 bowlers of the brand new season. We start, as always, with a brand new ladder and 5 new bowlers competing for the $1,000 top prize money. So let's meet our number 5 seed first. A regular here on the program from Revere, Massachusetts, Tom Morgan.
Speaking of the Tournament of Champions, Tommy was a participant last year. Carries an average of 127, high single of 192, and 490 for high triple.
All right, and Tom, of course, has been here many times before, an overall record of 7-5 here on the program. Also here many times before is his opponent, our number 4 seed in our first ladder of the season, from Pennacook, New Hampshire, Kevin Davis.
Okay, and Kevin averages 124, has a high single of 201. 463 for a high triple.
All right, a little bit later on at the end of the show, our bonus ball contest, as always, here on Stars and Strikes. And we've been holding that money over the summer and added another $10, so it'll be $70 in the jackpot. Plus, of course, brand new set of bowling balls on the line for you and the bowler as well. We'll tell you how to enter our contest if you haven't already. And we'll be back with the first string of our match here on Stars and Strikes right after these messages. All right, we are back here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Doug Brown along with Dan Murphy. Again, thanks for joining us. Brand new season here on the program, and here are the 5 bowlers that will be with us during our first 4-week series here on Stars and Strikes. Tom Morgan, Kevin Davis today, as we already told you. The rest of the ladder, number 3, Bill Koffold will be in next week to face the winner of this match. Mark Gregory is our number 2 seed. Bob Kelly is the number 1 seed. And as Dan mentioned earlier, a lot of familiar names in that group. So Tom Morgan ready to get our match started. And you might have noticed that there was a tie among Bill Koffold and Kevin Davis at 695 in the roll-off score. Those ties are broken by the highest single string rolled in the roll-off. Of course, the roll-off's comprised of 5 games, total pinfall determining our 5 bowlers on the program. And Bill Koffold and Kevin Davis each shot a 695, but Bill Koffold's high game was 177. Kevin Davis's high game was 165. That broke the tie for third, so that's why Kevin is the number 4 seed and throwing in our first week here. We should also mention, Dan, that there was a tie for 5th place, and Tom Morgan is here because of a tiebreaker with Jack Quinn, who's been on the program several times in the past. And there's a... Oh, no! Called it a little too early. The 5-pin stands.
Thought that was over. Tom thought it was over. The rest of the crowd here thought it was over, but it stands. Yeah, that's the heartbreaker for Jackie Quinn, because the high single there cost him an appearance on the show, but unfortunately that's what we do.
And it was only by 1 pin. Tom Morgan's high single was 145. Jack Quinn's was 144. So that's how Tom winds up on the program, and he goes 9 spare to start the match. And now Kevin Davis. And Kevin has a rather unusual first ball. Well, that could have been an awful lot worse. Didn't turn out too badly for him.
In fact, it looks pretty good right now. He's looking at the 2, 9, and 10 piece of wood in front and behind the 2, which got a good chance of carrying the 9 and 10. And it's just what happens. Opening frame, opening spare for Kevin Davis.
That's got to be a nice way to open the match. You get a mark that's fairly easy to shoot at. You just sweep it all out. You get a break, take advantage of it right away.
First box in a match is always tough. First mark of the match is really tough. He's got both of those monkeys off his back right out the start.
Again, a pretty good mix for Kevin, although he was not on the head pin, and this time he's got the 1, 9, and 10. Last time it was the 2, 9, and 10.
On a different approach to the game. Miss the head pin and make your spares. 1, 9, 10. Looks pretty good.
Nothing to it, right? Couple of marks. Here's the second one.
There we go. Tom Morgan now working on a spare he put up in the second box.
Mentioned Tom was in the Tournament of Champions last spring. Tom was the number 4 seed. His match against Neil Goslin, Neil hit him with a 149 opening game. Tom was in a hole right away, never really recovered, wound up losing the match by 32. Tom earned his way on to the Tournament of Champions last year, back in January, with back-to-back wins over Dave Blaine and Steve Vadney.
Four horsemen right for Tom. Trying to make it 3 in a row,
oh,
and
yeah.
yes, he does.
Fine shot. Seems like we don't see this made very often here on Stars and Strikes.
More and more over the years. I think when the plastic pin came into play, you seem to leave that corner pin more often than not. That time he was a little heavier on the head pin and kept the other 3 pins in play and was able to move the 10 pin out of there. That's 8 on a spare for Kevin. Trying to make it 3 in a row for himself. And he does. So we bowled 7 boxes and we have 6 marks, all spares.
Again, off the head pin, and here's the 1, 9, and 10 again. This one's going to be a little more difficult, perhaps. Only 1 piece of wood in between.
Well, hang on, no, not quite. Left the 10 pin, and this string of marks is broken at 3.
And Kevin will take a 10 box, so 62 through 4. Fine start for both bowlers to this point. As we move along here over the next few weeks to start the new season on Stars and Strikes, we're going to be addressing some of the comments and suggestions and questions that have come in our summer mailbag. And I want to tell you, we were just deluged with mail this summer. I want to thank everyone who took the time to write in. The first thing I'd like to address, though, just to make sure everyone is clear, we fell behind in our prize mailings for the bonus ball contest last season, way behind, and we apologize for that. A lot of you have written in wondering where your prizes were. Let me assure you that if you haven't received them already, you will be receiving them very shortly. They've already begun to be mailed out. And
yeah, those people who won in 1957 has finally got theirs, so yours should be coming right along in the next few years. No, just kidding.
Yeah, we really do apologize for the delay, and we appreciate your patience. But if you have not received your gift yet, consolation gift from the bonus ball contest from last year, you will be receiving it very, very shortly. We've already begun the process of sending those all out.
And meanwhile, while we've been talking, Tom Morgan has continued marking his 5 marks in a row, all spares.
Kevin Davis trying to start a new skein of marks. This time he missed the head pin and not much happened. Second time in a row he's left the 10 pin on a spare try. We have the good news now about the bonus ball contest as far as the consolation prizes is we have some new prizes that we're giving away. We have some very nice coffee mugs and some baseball caps. So we'll be adding to the prize collection.
4 horsemen left for Kevin. 1, 2, 4, and 7. Sliding by the head. Woo! Almost came back and got it from the behind. Cleared out the 2, 4, 7, and one of those pins came back and just missed the head pin. And it's a 9. Kevin having trouble hitting that head pin. Trailing by 5 plus the fill that Tom Morgan will throw now.
Tom Morgan from Revere. He and his wife Linda have 2 children, 11-year-old Jamie and 9-year-old Kelly. And Tom's going to have some work on this one if he wants to get another mark.
And another spare lead. The 5, 7, 10.
With no wood. Tom works at General Electric, but he and his wife Linda are also involved in their own business, Active Play Clinics, which we've talked about before.
It's an amazing thing, too. What it is a series of sports clinics that they put on for children, bowling being, of course, one of them, and basketball and other things. And it's a great thing for the youngsters, and they're really trying to increase the number of clinics they put on. And can't think of a better guy. He really is into the game of bowling, and we need people like that, and it's a great sport for youngsters to get into at an early age.
Oh, yes. Fine shot. Tom Morgan, mark number 6 after being open in the 7th. And now Kevin Davis to try and get hot again. Had 3 marks in a row to open the game, but hasn't had one since.
Maybe that's why he wasn't trying to hit the head pin. Spread eagle this time.
Kevin was with us in one series last season here on Stars and Strikes in singles competition. That was back around Christmas time. He came in as a number 2 seed, beat Stan Mayo, advanced to a series championship match, and lost a very tough one to Bob Mazer. Bob, of course, wound up advancing to the Tournament of Champions. Kevin's never made it to the tournament, so who knows? This could be the first of a 4-week stretch to try and get there. One of these bowlers, in order to qualify, would have to win 4 matches in a row. And there's the big strike, first strike of the match. And it's for Kevin Davis here in the 8th.
It's the head pin this time, and light. And the last pin to go is that 2 pin with the head pin coming off the left sidewall to clear that out. And as Doug said, first strike of the match. And Tommy's off target with the first one. 1, 2, 6, 10.
Many of you have perhaps already discovered it, but for those who haven't, Stars and Strikes Doubles is on at a new time now on the Winds, but it'll be easy to remember. Stars and Strikes, of course, remains here Sunday at noon. Stars and Strikes Doubles now Saturdays at noon. Of course, our season opened yesterday on Stars and Strikes Doubles, so coming up this Saturday, don't forget, we'll have week number 2 of our first series there. So Saturday at noon for Stars and Strikes Doubles, and Sunday at noon here on Stars and Strikes from Park Place Lanes.
4 pin left for Tom, and piece of wood looking right at him. And a mark in the 10th for Tom Morgan, 134 plus the bonus ball.
7 spares this game.
Pretty fair opening game for Tom. Of course, Kevin Davis's game isn't chopped liver either.
And that'll be a 9 drop for a 143 for Tom Morgan with 7 marks in that opening game. Open only in the 1st, 7th, and 9th. Kevin Davis now working on a strike. Again, just off target. Kevin's high single, a 201. He happened to roll that in the New Hampshire State Championships back a few years ago. It's the highest single string ever rolled in the state championship.
7 on the strike, gives him 117 through 8. 116 through 9. So to catch Tom Morgan this first game, he would need a double strike, but certainly another mark anyways would put him awfully close. And that was right in the pocket. 4-7.
That was the ball he wanted last time, last box.
Oh, pulled it to the left. So, oh boy, what a break. My, oh my. Pull that one to the left, and as long as the ball hits a piece of wood fair like that, that ball can do anything it wants, and it decided to come back and take out the 4. 126 in a bonus ball.
On the head pin this time for a 7-pin drop and a 133. So a fine start to this new season here on Stars and Strikes. A 10-pin lead for Tom Morgan after 1. We're back with details on our bonus ball contest, how you can win some prizes here on Stars and Strikes, and Game 2 in a minute. Once a show every week, so you can catch it next time. We got just absolutely flooded with postcards over the summer. Hundreds of them, hundreds and hundreds of postcards, and we appreciate it. For those of you who may be watching us for the first time on a new show, for those of you who joined us on a new cable system, particularly in Massachusetts during the summer, the shows you saw during the summer were reruns from last season. But this is now the brand new season starting in October, and all the postcards that were sent in have now gone into our big TV, and you have a chance with everyone else to win the bonus ball contest. And I do want to acknowledge all the new cable systems that are with us, Dan, because we are, according to my unofficial count, now available in 160,000 additional homes, most of them in Massachusetts. And that's certainly good news. Looking through some of the postcards that came in over the summer, a lot of them were from different areas that we had not heard from in the past, and we can only assume that's because we're on the air in many of these different areas, and that's certainly great to hear.
That's great.
Getting postcards now from the Boston area and out more in central Massachusetts, and of course we've always had a popular following in the Fitchburg, Leominster area, but now we're kind of branching out from that. And
how far west do we go?
Oh, I don't know what the westernmost town is, but we're out now in that area: Ashby, Littleton, Ayer, Townsend, Ashburnham. This is all customers on Neshoba Cable, Carlisle, Boxborough, Shirley, Concord, Mass, Westford, Tingsboro. Moving closer toward the east. The ball still spinning. It's heading over toward the 7-pin now. It eventually will be removed. We have a newcomer with us here on Stars and Strikes to start the new season, and I certainly want to acknowledge her presence. Handling the big scoreboard here for us and handling a very delicate ball removal right there. For her first official duty down on the lanes, Tanya Murphy-Lewis, who happens to be Dan's oldest daughter, and she did an outstanding job. You should be so proud.
I held my breath. I wanted to turn around with her feet and kick the head pin down or something. First time is always the toughest on the father, you know? Tom Morgan, 27 after 2. Full on the head pin this time.
In addition to those homes on Neshoba Cable, we're also on a number of new homes, in a number of new cable systems through Time Warner Cable in Massachusetts: Malden, Medford, Chelsea, Everett, Lynn, Melrose, Somerville, Swampscott, Winthrop, and Salem, among others. Of course, we've been joking for several years now on the fact that we weren't on in Lynn, so I'm sure the folks at Time Warner are getting all kinds of good response from all the bowling fans in Lynn, because we know there are a lot of them. So they're with us now too.
Inadvertently said that I think Tom Morgan had 27. It was Kevin Davis 27 after 2. Tom Morgan at 16. And look at this.
Oh, what an effort. He gave a good effort on a spread eagle in the first game, too. He came 1 pin closer this time.
Actually threw the 3-pin between the 2 and the 4. Got the 4. Left just the 2-pin, and it's a 9 box. Unfortunately, you don't get any pins for effort. Look at that.
Kevin has actually taken the lead in the match by 1. Here in the early going. Kevin was a member of the 5-man state scratch and handicap championship team this year in New Hampshire. And another 9 box. 2 of them for Kevin. Chance for Tom Morgan.
45 after 4 for Kevin, and Tom Morgan got 2 open frames to work on. Try to grab the lead back. He's going to have a chance. 1, 3, and 6. No. Missing the head pin to the right. Drops out just the 3-pin.
Dan, the final roll-off for this first series of the new season here on Stars and Strikes, held at the Merrimack Bowling Center, one of the newer members of the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association, and we certainly want to thank George Climo, Steve Cinerazzo, and all the folks over at Merrimack who helped us with the logistics on this first final roll-off of the new season.
And again, like we mention every season, if you're interested in trying out for the show, just contact your nearest New Hampshire Candlepin Association house. Ask them when the next roll-off is. There is no entry fee. All you do is pay for the 5 games of bowling. It's like 5 games of practice. If you are fortunate enough, nice 10 by Tom Morgan. I'll finish that story.
When we come back from this break, we're almost at the halfway point, and it's dead even here on Stars and Strikes. Don't go away. Kevin Davis for the 5th frame, game 2.
As I mentioned before the break, if you want to try out for the show, just contact your nearest New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association house. Ask them when the roll-off is. 5 games of practice. If you're lucky enough to get in the top 5, then you'll be told where to go to the finals. and if you're one of the top 5 bowlers, appear here on the singles show, and if it's a doubles roll-off, if you're one of the top 10 in the final roll-off, you'll appear. So no entry fee. Everyone should try it. It's great fun and 5 games of practice, if nothing else.
And I'll add 2 more things to that, Dan. For the singles show, the show is open to men and women. It has not happened yet, but I suspect it will before too much longer, that we'll have our first woman competitor on the singles show, open to men and women, of course. And also, for those folks who, again, may be catching us for the first time in Massachusetts, I want to just stress one thing that Dan mentioned, which is that the roll-offs for Stars and Strikes are held only at New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association houses, the preliminary roll-offs. So you have to get in touch with one of those centers near you. And, of course, there are many within a short drive up from Massachusetts.
Right, you do not have to be a league member at any of those houses.
That's right.
You just have to, it's open to everyone, so.
We have many bowlers already on the show from Massachusetts, as exemplified by Tom Morgan here.
However, if you would like to join a league in one of our New Hampshire houses, I'm sure they would accommodate you. Tom Morgan, 44, halfway through this game, opened with a 143 and a 10-pin advantage. However, he leads by just 1 right now. And that's threatened by the spare put up already by Kevin Davis. 3, 6, 10 in the right, 4, 7 for Tom. Off the wall, just short of the 4-pin.
Now, for those people who would like to try out for the show and perhaps don't feel like they're quite at that level yet, that would bring me to one of the pieces of mail that we got over the summer from Tony Delicato of Dracut, Mass., who wrote a very succinct and to-the-point postcard inquiring about bowling lessons from Dan Murphy. Now, are you going to start a little side business here on me, or what?
Well, just, who is it again? Tony, I'm in the phone book. Bring your checkbook, and we can work something out. 7 on the spare. I give lessons all the time. If anyone wants to contact me at Botwell's Bowling Center in Concord, I'd be more than glad to give you some lessons. And it might mean you traveling to Concord, though.
And, of course, you would take a percentage of any prize winnings, is that right?
If they make the show, yes. I automatically become their agent. And Kevin Davis now leads in the match by 7 as a result of the 7 fill on that spare in the 6th frame.
Kevin has had some odd leaves today, hasn't he?
Sure has.
Converts that one for a spare.
But he seems to be making those odd leaves into spares. And there's one of them.
That was
spare in the 8th.
That was not an uncommon leave, that one there, but certainly not an easy one to convert for a spare. The wood helped a bit. And here are the 4 horsemen again.
Tom Morgan, he got a mark in the last box of the first game, and he's been shut out since. 6 open frames. And it'll make it 7. And you can see the reaction with Tom just missing the head pin. Looked like a pretty good ball going in. However, he's left with a 6, 7, and 9. Piece of wood rolling up the lane.
Well, Tanya takes care of that. It'll give us an opportunity to remind you that those of you who are Candlepin bowling fans specifically, but sports fans in general, will want to make a pilgrimage down to the Cambridge Side Galleria at some point in the near future. Check out. Oh, what a fine shot.
Unbelievable.
Spare for Tom Morgan. We'll take another look at that one.
There's a shot of a veteran Candlepin bowler knowing how to play that wood off the right side wall all the way across to clear the 7.
The Cambridge Side Galleria, the site of the Sports Museum of New England, which of course features a sizable exhibit on Candlepin bowling. So many people, of course, have been responsible for the development of the Sports Museum of New England, not the least of whom is Dave Cowens. But in the Candlepin bowling area, Bob Perella, of course, who's one of our good friends here on Stars and Strikes, Paramount Industries in Medway, has been a driving force behind the Candlepin bowling exhibit at the Galleria, and I know you've seen it, Dan, and you were quite impressed with it.
Absolutely, and I'd like to thank Bob too. Many, many hours, countless hours of hard work, fundraising, which still goes on, by the way, so we can maintain that exhibit at the New England Sports Museum. So, which if you haven't been there, you got to see it. It's an incredible place, first class.
And they have a heck of a gift shop, too. 118 for Kevin Davis, 251 after 2. And now he will sit and watch as Tom Morgan works on a spare in the 8th. Each bowler with 8 marks in the match right now. Just 1 strike so far. That was Kevin's back in the first game.
It's 8 on the spare for Tom Morgan, matching the 8 that Kevin Davis had. Kevin's open the last 2.
And indeed, another mark, 2 in a row for Tom Morgan. He had 5 in a row back in the first game. And a solid fill on this mark would give him the lead back. And there it is.
It's pretty solid.
Big strike, his first of the match. Good time for it.
Just kicking out the 7-pin.
111 plus 2 bonus balls for Tom. whatever he throws here, he'll add to his lead, which right now is 3. Ooh, let that one get by a little bit. And missing the head pin. It'll be a 9-box, a 120, and a 2-game total of 263. So after trailing for most of the game, Tom Morgan adds a couple more pins onto his lead, which is 12. 1 game to go here on Stars and Strikes. We'll be back. Stick around. You're looking at Tom Morgan, ready to start the 3rd game here on Stars and Strikes with a 12-pin lead over Kevin Davis. And the big 5 leave to start. The 3-6-10 on the right, the 4-7 on the left. And that's how it's done!
Well, he had that similar shot earlier in the match, that last game, and he just threw that 3-pin in front of the 4-pin. This time, a little deeper, carries the 4, and then eventually the 7.
That's 11 marks now in the match for Tom Morgan.
Not the conventional way of making that shot. Ideally, they want to split the 3-6, but whatever floats your boat.
And a 6 fill.
1, 2, 4, and 10 left for Tom, trying to make it 2 in a row. Not to be.
No. 24 opening pair in the 3rd game.
You're talking about mail. We've received a letter from Mrs. June Trust from Ipswich, Massachusetts, and June, I have to say you have quite a sense of humor in your letter. Won't take up the time to read the entire letter, but you did ask one question about bowlers after they delivered the ball going to the foul line to look at some wood, how the wood is set up. And you asked if they went over the foul line, what would be the penalty, and that would be like fouling on the next ball. They would lose the ball that they were about to deliver. And that's, at no time can a bowler go over that foul line. So I hope that answers your question, and it is a quite comical letter in your exercise. She says she gets more exercise with her body English than she does in bowling itself. 1, 8, and 9.
I especially like the part of her letter where she talked about advice that I had given on the air that she takes to heart.
Yes, yeah, concentration. She mentioned concentration all the time, and she gets up there and says, when I get up to bowl, I tell myself, Doug says concentrate. So I get up to bowl and tell myself to concentrate, but I say to myself, on what? Oh, well. Great sense of humor. Thank you for the letter, June.
Guess I should have said specifically what to concentrate on.
That's right.
Must have left that out. Kevin Davis with a pair of 9s, and the lead is now 18, as you can see, for Tom Morgan.
Ouch. Well, it's starting to look a little better. Interesting, the 4 and the 9 pins. 2 pieces of wood in between the 4 and 9. He's going to have to catch a piece of the one on the left, I would say.
Yes! Fine shot. We'll see exactly what happened, I think, a little bit better on the replay. Yep. Just clipped that front wood.
Right now leading by 18 through the completed frames, which would be through the 2nd frame. A little heavy on the head pin, drops 8 on the spare, and the 3 and the 10 left. Piece of wood angled fairly good behind the 2 pin. And now he's got a couple more pieces directly behind the 2. He's got a shot at making this if he's on the 2 pin.
Ooh! Oh, wow. So it'll be a 10. Let's see what happened on that.
He just turned around to me and said, a little too far. And he was maybe a tad too far left. He wanted to be more directly on the 2-pin itself, but came awful close to making it just the same.
Kevin Davis needs some marks.
And a good break there, missing the head pin, and finally the 1 and 2 pins are left. You're right, Doug, he needs some marks.
And there's one. That is his 9th of the match. Each bowler has 1 strike.
Trails by 26. However, he'll reduce that by number of pins on this ball. Full on the head pin, wants the 10 pin out of there. It's not going to happen. 7. Fill on the spare, 4, 7, 10, and let's see where the wood settles down.
This may determine the shot here. That front piece of wood.
I would say he'd want to see part of that 4 pin. At the same time, he's going to have to take a piece of that wood out in front. Now, the ball might be deflected around the 4-7, but I think that's his only shot.
Ooh, almost.
Got the 4 and a 10, and there's a class move right there. Tommy Morgan says, nice try, Kevin.
We have 6 boxes to go. 20 pins the lead right now for Tom Morgan. We'll be back with the conclusion of the match after these messages. Tom Morgan getting set. 6 boxes to go in this match. On the head pin, but not much of a result this time for Tom. Punching out the 1, 2, 8, and 9.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah! Oh, what a shot!
I was going to say, wow, that was close to making that shot, and finally off the right side wall comes the 4 and 5 pins going down. Watch this. Right there.
Boy, he has made a couple of spectacular shots in this game.
Again, a little full. 8-pin drop, which is good, but leaves the pins kind of far apart. The 6 and 7. 2 pieces of wood, 1 in front, 1 in back of the 6-pin. Wants to hit it on either end, snap it off the wall. There it is.
Yes.
He's putting on a little bowling clinic right now.
That's 14 marks for Tom. 14 marks in 26 frames.
One of the pure bowlers who can play that wood to your advantage, and he certainly does that.
Kevin Davis needs to put a string of marks together now, the way Tom Davis is bowling. Tom Morgan is bowling. Kevin from Pennacook works in the food service department at Pepsi-Cola, does a lot of his bowling at the Lakeside Lanes. Wanted me to say hello to his girlfriend Amber and her son Adam. And Kevin will have a spare leave this time, the 1, 2, and 4. That wood
could cost him if he's on the head pin too full. Very nicely done. Went by the head pin, clipped the wood, and had the wood come from behind and hit the head pin. If he hit the head pin with the ball, would have went right around the 2 and the 4.
Tom Morgan working on his 2nd straight mark. And he sets himself up for another one.
Yeah, he's got the good rhythm right now. Picked up some nice spares, getting a lot of confidence. Leaves the 5-9. Trying to make it 3 in a row, as Doug said. And ooh, just chops out the 5.
Has an outside chance at a 400 triple here. Needs a 137 for that. Actually, not an outside chance, a very good chance the way he's bowling right now.
Well, there's a break. On the head pin full, looked like almost a spread eagle, minus the 10 pin. 6 fell into the 3. Now he's looking at just a 3-pin spare, leave the 2, 4, and 7. And that's gone. Another mark and another spare. Yeah, 1 strike?
1 strike each. Right now, Tom Morgan with 14 spares and a strike. Kevin Davis with 9 spares and a strike. Kevin working on a spare right now. He could use some strikes at this point.
6, 7, 10. 3 pieces of wood that are playable.
Really almost must mark here. Opposite an open frame. Can't do it. That's going to make it pretty tough unless he strings some strikes together in the last few boxes. The lead is 29 with 3 to go. Boy, that was a strike ball he threw, it appeared. But it came in a little thin, and instead he has the 4 and the 10. With wood strewn all over the deck.
Makeable here, just throws at the... Oh, I didn't think he was going to make it quite that way, but...
Using only 1 piece of wood, let's take a look.
Just catches the 1 to the left and flips the 4-pin into the 10. Both bowlers making some fantastic spares.
Oh, big strike for Tom Morgan. That's on a spare. And he'll be over 400 now, for certain.
I'm sure he's going to try to play the wood here, carrying the ball off the wood into the 7, and the wood take the other 3. Let's see if he can do it. A little high.
Not quite.
Gives him 145 already.
To the counter, please. Barbara Hartman.
And it'll be a 9 box, a 145 and a 3, make it a 408 for Tom Morgan. Kevin Davis working on the mark, and there's the strike he needs, but he's going to have to strike out in order to win it.
Well,
oh, there's another one. As I said, he'll have to strike out in order to win it. Needs more.
a little light this time.
Wow. He gave it a scare. This match, this final total is going to be a lot closer than it would have been. There's a spare in the 10th, a 147 for Kevin Davis, and he winds up dropping this match by just 10, 408 to 398. Tom Morgan will advance and face Bill Koppold next week. We'll check the bonus ball contest, chat with the bowlers in a minute. Well, our first week is in the books here on Stars and Strikes, Dan, and for Tom Morgan, a case of a quick start, then a little lull, and then a terrific finish.
Absolutely, and then Kevin came on like a gangbuster at the end, and still mathematically, if he threw one more strike, we're looking at maybe a different person walking up and collecting the check.
All right, let's bring those people up here to collect the check. First of all, let's talk to Kevin Davis. A round of applause for Kevin. He came up with a terrific finish there, a 398, just missing a 400 himself. We were talking about Tom getting a 400, and you almost snuck in there yourself, $100 for fifth prize money. Did you know exactly how many strikes you needed there at the end?
Nope. I wasn't even thinking about it. Nope.
Well, one more, and then it could have been a lot different.
Yeah, if I throw an 8-drop on it, I'd be throwing the bonus ball and looking for a new set of bowling balls.
Well, Kevin, we appreciate your coming by as always. It's good to see you. We hope to see you again later in the year.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Kevin, thanks very much. Kevin Davis. And now for that bonus ball, Tom Morgan will try it on lane 31. And Tom's been putting an awful lot of pressure on himself during the commercial break. He's thrown all these great-looking balls and spare leaves and strikes and everything, and now he's got to do it one more time on the bonus ball. Let's see. $70. There you go. The pressure was just too much for him. $70 is on the line. And Dan is mixing his hand. Don't get your hand caught in there.
I'm trying to get down to the 4s.
Oh, let's see. Not a... Oh, let's see. Well, we have a... why don't we draw another one, because that one is a... yeah, that one was a number that we couldn't really read, so why don't we draw another one? Oh, not a match, Tom. I'm sure this shocks you. A 6 was the guess for Joan Hetty from Manchester, New Hampshire. So, Joan, you'll be receiving a gift from N&R Trophy. We appreciate your entry, and Tom, congratulations. Had them all the way, right?
Oh, yeah, right. I'm down there rooting for him. Come on, throw the triple. And I look over the board. I say, oh, gee, throw the 888, I lose. Double 9 would be great. But, yeah, he came on great, threw the ball excellent. And he had a couple shots that didn't go, so it was a lot closer, like I said.
As I said earlier, you had a nice string of marks there at the beginning and then another one at the end. What happened in the middle?
The usual. That's Tom Morgan, too. It's a little bit of everything here you get with me.
Bill Caulfield next week.
Yeah, tough. I bowled beside him in a roll-up. Real good bowler. So it's going to be a good match.
We'll see you next Sunday.
Absolutely.
Congratulations. A 408 for Tom Morgan and the win, and we'll take you back over to the ladder so you can, again, get a look at the bowlers in this series here on Stars and Strikes. Tom Morgan with the win. He will advance to face Bill Caulfield, who will be making his first appearance here in quite some time next week here on Stars and Strikes. And that should be a good match, too, as we work toward our number 1 seed, Bob Kelly, in the weeks to come.
It's going to be interesting, and Billy was glad. He hasn't been here in a while, and he mentioned that. He says, glad to be back.
All right, and we're glad you're back for the brand new season here on Stars and Strikes, the beginning of our 10th year here on the Winds. For Dan Murphy and the whole crew, I'm Doug Brown. We'll see you next Sunday at 12 noon. Have a good week, everybody.